Hope you all are doing good. So in last couple of videos we have seen how we can automate the mutation queries for inserting a data, right? So we have taken like a quite an example where we have seen how we can use the mutation for this insert users, right? So in this particular session, let's keep the focus on updating a particular query, right? So in the previous videos, we have created the query, we have created a particular record in the server. Now what we need to do, we need to update a particular record, right? So how we will be doing in the GraphQL. So before just jumping into the automation part, so let's try to do it manually. How we can write the mutation to update a particular query. So as of now on the screen you are able to see we have a GraphQL and GraphQL query for getting all the users in a particular server side or from the database. So we have like only one user as of now. If I hit a request, yeah, you can see as of now I have only one data. So what we will do, we will try to update the name of this particular user. Okay, so let's see. So as of now the name is Houdini, right? So let's try to change this name to like Ken Kaneki. Actually, I'm quite a big fan of Tokyo Ghoul, so Ken Kaneki is like a character there. So now let's see update user. Okay, so update user, yeah, that's fine. So what we need to do, we need to set. Okay, so you can just select from this left hand navigation. So what I did, I just clicked on the update users. Then let's set. Okay, set what? Set name. Okay, so let's see set name. So when you say name, there should be some, sorry, yeah, name. So let's say I would say Ken Kaneki. Okay, so that's fine. Now we need to do a matching. It's like a simple thing with a query, SQL query, right? Most of the people might be aware about it. So whenever the ID is this, update the name. Okay, so where, so let's say ID. So you can see ID equal, there are certain things greater than equal to, in is null, less than equal to, not equal to, not in, right? So there are the certain what you can say the variations on this part, and you can just put the condition on this particular different conditions the conditions which are given as a part of your ID, equal, greater than equal, in, is null. So if you are just familiar about with the shell scripting part, so these things will look like much similar to that. So now let's see, I want ID is equal to this one. Okay, so now so don't just see the error as of now. So I will just try to explain. I want to update this particular record, the highlighted one, whose name is Houdini, to the Ken Kaneki when your ID is this, when your ID is FF3A9 and so on, right? So after this is done, what you need to do, I just want to return the ID name and let's say timestamp as well. Okay, now let's see how it will work. Right, you can see it has updated the name to Ken Kaneki. Okay, suppose if you just want to change it again to Kaneki, okay, and along with timestamp, I also want the rocket. Okay, and you want to put like one more end condition when ID is equal to this and name equal to Ken Kaneki. Okay, so let's see name. Okay, so the name will come here. So again in the name you need to check equal to what? Ken Kaneki. Now let's add another thing, which is affected rows. I will tell you what these affected rows are. So this affected row shows means how many records are affected by this particular update operation that you are going to do. So you can see right at this particular point we did like name is, and we changed the name to Kaneki whenever the name was equal to Ken Kaneki. So previously it was Ken Kaneki. After doing the update, it becomes Kaneki. Okay. So this is how you can write a mutation query to update a user. So to do it through the automation, right? So what will be your prerequisite? First of all, you should be having some user created on this database, on the database or on the server side for you. Okay. Once you have that particular user created, then you can update the records based on that. Okay. So let's see from the code side now. So this is like the same repo that we are maintaining from our first video. So what I will do, I will just try to create another mutation update user spec file. Say mutation underscore update user hyphen spec dot js. So let's do one thing, copy everything from the previous one of the file. Let's close everything first. Okay, now update user, let's come here. First of all, what we need to do, we need to create a particular user. As of now, you can see this ID does not exist on this users, right? Only one particular data exists, which have, and these two are both ID are the UID, which are unique as of now. So I think we can make use of this ID, and for the name, let's say Light Yagami, and say Yagami Rocket. Okay, so what will happen? No, sorry, this is not the means, this is the mutation for inserting user. We need to create a particular user first, right? So maybe like we can use this particular part. Yeah, I think that's fine, right? We have to create a user. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, that is fine. So because I was just thinking we are retrieving the data, but we have to insert the data first, right? For inserting the data, we need to write a mutation for insert user. So we have this Light Yagami name with the name, and the rocket name is Yagami Rocket. So this particular query is enough to create a user for us. Okay, now let's do one thing. After creating the user, let's do a console.log. Let me remove this. Console.log new user created. Okay, so once it is done, so we will just print the user. Now let's now what do we need to do? We need to type the mutation to update the user now. Okay, so let's do this now. What you need to do first, so we need to check what is the name here, Light Yagami. Okay, so what I will do, I will just change the name to Kira. Okay, now when I change the name to Kira, what we will be doing when the ID is equal to what? So in this case, the ID is this. And the name, the initial name for within which we have created the user. So the initial name which for which the user was created is Light Yagami. So let's put here Light Yagami. So what will happen at the point, right? So for the first time it will create a user with the name Light Yagami. Second time we are updating the name, right? So what we are saying, hey, update the user for me when the name update the user for me when the ID is equal to this and your name is Light Yagami, set the value as Kira for me. Okay, so let me remove this affected rows and just say update query. Now what I need to do, instead of user query, I will just say update query. I will just update query. Okay, so pretty much I can remove these things. So let's do a console.log and say updated query result. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So let's see and execute the result and see what will happen in this case. So let me clear the console for you first. I will say node source tells mutation underscore update user spec.js. Sorry, my bad. It should be like this. Now let's see. Okay, so let's analyze the result now. So new user created. Okay, so new user created with this particular ID, right? And the name is Light Yagami, and the rocket name is Yagami Rocket. Okay, now updated query result when I ran the mutation, right? After running this update mutation, right? So we can see what happens at this point. The ID will remain same. The name will change to Kira, right? And the rocket name is still the same because we are just updating the name here. So I think this is pretty much clear to you guys. So this is all from this particular video. Again, if you like my video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys.